Going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here. So there is a new HiveOS version of the miner available for QUBIC. So I'm going to run you guys how to set this up. It's pretty easy, just like the other setup video we did, but I'm going to do it with all the latest info that we have now. Also, it does sound like on Wednesday when this epoch does change, that is, I believe, the 20th of March here, we are going to then see a 25% hash rate drop. We'll talk about that a little later on in the video. And it also sounds like GPUs are going to be becoming more and more less efficient, paving the way for CPUs, which are already amazing on QUBIC, to start performing even better and better. So we'll take a look at all this in a minute. But first, I'm going to show you how to set this all up. All right, guys, so I am over here on the GitHub. Now, right now, this is only for CPUs, but it does look like a dual CPU plus GPU miner will be tested and ready for tomorrow. So at the time of the releasing this video, it may be working for GPUs as well. But right now, at the time of recording, I do want to point out this is strictly only for CPUs currently. All right, so the setup process here is relatively easy. All you got to do is see this URL right here. Once you click that link down in the description, it says use the URL in the flight sheet. So we're just going to simply take this and copy it. And if you're new to QUBIC or something, you're probably wondering, why is there a new miner? Why do we have a new wrapper for this to work in HiveOS? What happened to L World, L Wand? I always say it wrong. I apologize, but I always say it wrong here. But it does sound like he was actually caught taking souls from people, which is the block reward. So people were finding less, or they were getting stolen and so on. So they kind of removed him as being a dev. Even though he's still actively developing, I continued to keep on using his miner personally myself. But now there's a new official version that is announced by the pool itself. So that's why I'm showing you how to set this up with this latest version. So as I said, you just simply copy this as we just did. We're going to come into our flight sheet. Now, if you are new to QUBIC mining, you're going to want to start this from scratch. You're going to have to go into wallets here. Simply make yourself a wallet by clicking add wallet and then type coin. Just put in QUBIC here. Then you go to QUBIC, and then you're going to paste your wallet address in here, which can be found at their website. I'll have it right. I got to find this here. QUBIC wallet is right here. All these links will be down in the description to set it up. If you missed my other setup video, be sure to check that one out. It goes into a little more detail here, but you're going to have to set this up. You'll get a wallet file and everything, and then you'll have to use that to send transactions and stuff. But, overall, this is your wallet address you're going to use here. You're going to set this up in HiveOS just so that you have something to put in right here, and then name it whatever you want. In this case, test video, and then hit create, and you have your wallet. But again, this doesn't matter at this point because you're not actually using that wallet address. You're using the token that you get from the pool. So next up, you're going to want to go into your flight sheets here, and you're going to set up a new miner. So you're going to put in your QUBIC here. Just because you did make that wallet, that allows it to show up here. You're going to select your wallet, whatever you named it. Pool is going to be configure and miner, and then you're going to want to come down here and select custom. Once you do that, you can name this whatever you want, type of thing, gobbledygook stuff, and you're going to go to setup miner config. So that URL that we did paste from the GitHub right here, we're going to take that and we're simply going to paste that into the installation URL right here. It brings it all up. Next up, it does say hash algorithm right here. You can just leave this as blank like so. Wallet and worker template. I'm going to bring up my other one so you can see exactly what should all go in these parameters here. So I'm just going to use a worker that's already using this new miner. So we're going to come into here. I'm going to edit this, and you can see everything I got set up here. So exact same link is set right here. We're going to put our worker name right here, which is a pretty simple process. All you got to click on this eye here, put that in right there, and then just remove this in the start here. You're going to put in the pool URL. This will be linked down in the description. You're going to want to put in cpuOnly. Yes, accessToken. Now, this is the token that you get from the pool. Now, you're going to apply changes. Now, you may run into an issue where you're getting, the config is not set up right. It's not running. That's because you actually have to set up your thread count as well in here. But I don't run it there. I actually do it through CPU tweaking. And by what I mean by that, as I come into my workers, I'm going to go into rig 1. This is a 3900X. Once I go into tuning here, you can see my custom miner is tuned. I copied everything I had in the extra config, and I got it all right here. So now you can see I actually have the amount of threads set right here. And I'm only running this at 15. I do find it does give better hash. They're running at 24. Now the Ryzen 7000 series, you know, the 7900X, it does seem to work better at full threads at 24. And then the 7950 and 7950X3D does seem to run best at 32 threads. So I will actually have this whole thing copied below if you don't want to run the tuning thing, but this is how you can set up each individual rig itself. See, if I go into rig 2, it'll be the same thing because it's the same CPU, but this is how you tune each individual rig all by itself, running off the basic flight sheet. So again, I'm going to have that copied down in the description there for you guys. You can simply copy and paste it, but I do want to show you where to get your access token because a lot of you guys seem to, you know, not be able to find it. All right, so by default, if you're not subscribed to a pool, you're going to have to subscribe to a pool. There are two options to subscribe to. One is this one right here. This is the fixed plus bonus rate. So this is a fixed rate of only 70%. And the one I'm using is a fixed rate of 85%. Now what happens here is if you're on the 70% and if they end up having a really good week here with a good epoch and bonus rewards are dished out, you will end up with a bonus which could reward you more than mining at this. Now, if it ends up being not so good of a week, then you're only going to get 70%. And in theory, you're going to lose 15% of your profits you would have got going here. So the fixed 85%, I feel, is more of a consistent type of payout scheme, where the other one you could see more or you could see 15% less possibly by using that. So anyway, once you do that, subscribe to one of the pools. I am subscribed to the fixed reward 85%. As you can see, if I click on it, it's going to unsubscribe. You can switch pools at any time with no issues. But up top here, you can see right here, show token. This is where your token is. All you got to do is click on this button right here and your token will show up. Now, this is based on your account because you made an account to get to this pool here. So every time you click the show token button, you'll have a different token. It doesn't mean your rigs are no longer mining anymore. You could click this button 40 times, put a different token in every single rig individually. They will all show up here because it's all account based. So you don't have to worry about the token really being different, but this is how you find it. So you can see I am pool mining. I'm clicking on that. This is where you'll see your rigs. You can sort by solutions, how many each rig has found so far, and you just click the show token, and that's what you're going to use inside of your actual setup, like you see in my flight sheet right here. So we're going to come back into here, edit this, setup miner config. This is my token. And then in the pool, that's where you actually set up your payout address. In the settings here, you can see payout account. This is actually where your wallet address ends up going. So it's pretty much like you were mining to a normal mining pool, except that, you know, you're using an account base. In this case, you're using the token instead of there, you know, and if it's via BTC, it's like via BTC port, whatever account name or something for your worker name. So it's pretty much the same thing as that, except you're using that token instead. All right, guys, so let's take a look at what I was mentioning earlier about GPUs are kind of going to be falling off. Again, if you have super cheap power, it doesn't matter, but Pyron has been pumping, so you're probably better off mining that anyway. It's hard to say. You never know. This might pick up again, improve miners and so on. But I asked the question, is the rumor moving back to CPUs only true? Come from beyond here. He is actually the QUBIC main dev type of guy situation, and he says we are observing GPUs losing against CPUs. We don't try to move to CPU intentionally. So they don't plan on going only CPU on purpose, but the algorithm purpose of their AI and everything, if that's all they're doing and stuff, you know, CPUs just seem to be better. And now it says, so, but okay, but it looks like CPUs are better for the task. Yes, the AND functions in the way is hard to parallelize here. And then he has like a link here of the CPU versus GPU key differences and stuff. So you can kind of read on that if you're on their Discord or something. And I found a link here which was actually interesting. As of March 18th, 2024, it says CPUs are being used for AI workloads instead of GPUs here. But remember, guys, it all depends on the type of task that it's doing. Just like an algorithm, you know what? CPUs destroy GPUs when it comes to Monero RandomX because of the way that algorithm is designed. Obviously, if you put a CPU onto something like, you know, Ravencoin or something, it's not going to do very good, and GPUs are a lot better. So it all comes down to the algorithm that's doing. But there is going to be some changes happening in the next week or two, which is going to push the efficiencies and everything of the GPUs down quite a bit. So we're just going to have to see how that plays out. And as for the hash rate drop, so when Wednesday does occur next week, and you guys notice maybe your rigs are hashing about 25% less, don't freak out and spam all the discords. It's planned thing, expect it to happen. So I'm throwing the announcement out right now. We can see Decat here. Next epoch, this was posted on the 15th, which I think was Friday or something. So anyway, next epoch coming up on Wednesday. We will double the neuron numbers of both input and output layers from 1024 to 2048. Please adjust and optimize your mining software accordingly. So this is here he's kind of talking to the pools at this point. Make sure you optimize your miners and stuff so it's ready for when this does take place. Due to the increased neuron size, you'll experience lower ITs per second on most miners next epoch, about 25% of the current ITs per second. So whatever you're hashing right now, drop it about 25%, and that will be normal for the next epoch there. And remember, we're probably going to see tweaks as the week goes on, just like what we did with this. You know, from the start of the epoch to the pretty much the end right now, we have almost doubled in complete hash rate. So expect these tweaks to happen every couple days like we've been seeing over the past week or two. We will try to reduce the difficulty so that your solutions numbers not change too much. So that's an interesting part here, is we did see a lot of hash rate come online this week from all the videos emerging. We got all the tech blogs talking about it. So we have all the tech YouTubers and stuff out there as well talking about this, which is crazy. But pretty much, you know, we had a massive influx in hash rate. So what we can expect here is interesting. We thought the difficulty would actually increase. Now, this post was before they said they would lower it. So it's going to be a very interesting week, needless to say. Are we going to see an increased difficulty due to all the miners coming online? Or are they going to artificially or manually, I guess, adjust it down to keep the souls kind of on par? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on this epoch change. So hopefully this did help you get up and running on the latest miner that is recommended for HiveOS now for the LI pool. And then also we have all these changes coming to the epochs and QUBICs in general. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.